What's good, gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and on today's episode of Friends with Guns, we got my man's Gun and a Hookah in the building today. How you doing today, brother?
Doing all right, man. What's yourself?
I'm blessed. I'm here, so I can't complain.
I hear you on that.
Yeah, it wouldn't do me no good anyway, but we
Right, right. Who's listening, right?
right. Yeah. So the first question I ask everybody is, where are you from?
Where originally from or where I'm living currently?
We can do both.
Okay, well, originally from upstate New York,
Okay.
and traveled the world because of my time in the military, and I wound up in Maryland.
Okay.
So far, probably staying now.
Okay. So how long you been in Maryland?
12 years.
Oh yeah. Okay.
hmm
Okay. How did you come up with your YouTube name, Gun and a Hookah?
Well, gun and hookah is one of the two things I do top. I mean, the gun thing I've been doing for a long time. As far as me being able to afford to buy my own guns,
Mm-hmm.
that's been I want to say it's been 15 years, 20 years. Well, not 20 years. That's a little lot. It was like 15 or 17 years. I think I bought my first gun was a Smith & Wesson 686 357 Magnum.
Okay.
And then when I really started to really afford, and I'm a fool, I sold that gun, and now that gun's worth a lot of money now, right?
Yeah.
But then I really got into, like I said, got really, really hot after that, as far as buying guns. Hookahs. Um, I started smoking hookahs back in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So before it was taboo when I started, right? Now it's, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
So those two things kind of were two things I like to do. Although I enjoy smoking. I've been smoking since I was 16 years old. Started
Mm-hmm.
with cigars and then moved up to hookahs and pipes and still do all that stuff.
Okay.
But the reason I chose that name that's just part of it. But the real reason I chose it is because everybody else is doing tactical.
Yeah.
All that, and that's not really me. Even though I served in the military and all that stuff, but yeah, I'm not really a tactical guy.
Okay.
Not by no standards am I a tactical guy. So I chose like kind of gun and a hookah because I'm a gun enthusiast. I'm a firearms educator,
Mm-hmm.
and I've run ranges while I was in the military. But it's kind of like that peaceful, stress-free life at the same time.
Okay.
I also have tools to, you know, do some things. And I always say that the hookahs will kill me faster than the guns will. Right. So that's kind of why I kind of deviate from the norm as
Yeah.
far as it comes to guns. Kind of make it a little different.
Okay. So I've never smoked a hookah myself. So
Mhm.
can you kind of explain to me exactly what a hookah is?
Well, the hookah itself is a water pipe. It's been around for thousands of years.
Mm.
It originated, I want to say, in Egypt, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. It's really heavy in what they call Middle East or Southwest Asia. You want to look at it, but
Mm-hmm.
originated in Northern Africa. From based on some of the history that I looked up on. And at one time, women were forbidden to smoke it in hookah. They actually had lounges back then, but women weren't allowed to smoke in those lounges. Only exclusive to men only. Women had to go out
Okay.
to the field to smoke. But as you said, it's grown. But the hookah is actually the pipe. What's actually smoking is tobacco, known as shisha, right?
Okay.
Shisha is like a tobacco with a flavored molasses. It used to be with like honey and all that stuff originally.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, a lot of people smoke hashish.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that's where the name kind of derived from, kind of shisha being the tobacco, hashish being the, you know, a type of plant, but
Mm-hmm.
it's derived from cannabis and stuff like that. But yeah, shisha is the tobacco molasses type, and the hookah is the pipe that you smoke it out of.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
basically like smoking. It's a water pipe essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Water helps clean the smoke, even though it's just as dangerous as smoking cigarettes or cigars and stuff like that. There's definitely a surgeon's general warning on these things, and yeah, it's enjoyable, and I guess the sweet smell kind of deters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of, let's not say deters. It makes people a little more at ease to be around it because of the smell.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
hmm
So, was there one specific person or people or a specific event or anything that got you into firearms?
Um, No, I just was fascinated by firearms for a very long time, ever since I was young. And of course, I had friends that parents who had guns and they went hunting and stuff like that. So my first experience with firearms were like hunting rifles or shotguns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the very first gun I ever shot was a 12 gauge, single shot, break open action 12 gauge. And after that, I shot a 22 long pump. These are the two that started off shooting. And that's between the movies, because, 80s movies were, gun heavy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that was like that time. 70s and 80s were very, very firearms heavy. So I was fascinated by the movie guns and just how they worked, the mechanics of it. And then going into the military just took me to another level as far as learning types of firearms and just getting with people that learned it. So that's how I started. No traumatic. I don't have any traumatic stories. Mine were just out of curiosity and excitement
Yeah.
and learning about the fascination of firearms.
Okay. So, what branch of the military were you in, and what made you want to join the military?
I was in the Army. Um, I started off, it's funny, I was in high school and, recruiters come around and stuff like that. And I started off in the reserves and then I went active a couple of years later.
Okay.
Um, the recruiters came around and, I was in a video game back when they had video arcades and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always be playing fighting games, whether it be like some Street Fighter or Crime Fighters or
Yeah.
some shooting game, before really first person, they had like Contra and stuff like that.
Contra was my
Um,
shit.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the recruiters come in there, they see, oh, okay, this guy likes fighting,
Mm-hmm.
I just like fighting games, but so that was kind of their way of getting in, and they made recruiters do what recruiters do. They make it sensational.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
join the Army, they made it like, pay for your college and you get to do things in there and learn skills, and a lot of that, some of that is true, but a lot of it is just kind of the lure to get you in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then I wound up joining. That was it.
Okay.
And did some years, and the rest is history.
Okay. You see any action?
As far as combat, I've
Mm-hmm.
never been deployed to a theater outside of like Korea, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
Um, I came close. I always say that. I almost went to Somalia, and then I was asked if I wanted to go to Iraq. So I was in a position where I was a unit where you could volunteer to go. You weren't being voluntold, as you weren't doing rotations like that.
Okay.
And the first time I said no. The second time I said yes, but I want to back on.
Okay.
So I never seen no actual combat.
Okay.
Just trained folks that went downrange.
All right. Do you have any type of firearms training?
Military, of course, that was one of my biggest ones, and then a lot of getting my just some classes to get my carry permits, and then some just to learn about certain firearms.
Okay.
So like some NRA based training, some USCCA based training, more from the instructor standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at maybe getting an instructor's license just to have, but
Okay.
I haven't made that. But as far as most of my professional training came from the military as a trainee and then as a trainer as well.
Okay. Could you walk me through the process for anybody who's in the Maryland area about how you can get a concealed carry license?
Right now, it's probably because of the past Supreme Court judge ruling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier now. Before, you had to have a good and substantial reason, which basically means you either had to be a victim of a crime,
Mm-hmm.
or the main one, or be cleared, security clearance, or have a business. And the biggest one was having a business, whether it be a nonprofit 501(c) or an actual for-profit business.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to produce paperwork to make that happen. And it takes about 60 days. And then, you were off to the races. And sometimes they would have restrictions on it where you can only have it during your business hours. They got rid of that. And then, of course, after this ruling now, it's a shall issue. So if you're able to purchase a firearm legally, then you're more than likely able to get that. So now it's just, and also you got to go to the class. You got to go to do a class, right?
Okay.
Unless you were law enforcement or military, then you were exempt from that because you had enough of a class, at least to satisfy them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, But now you don't have to worry about the good and substantial. So since I eliminated that, all you got to do is do the class, fill out the paperwork, do your fingerprints, and then within about 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have your permit.
Okay.
And then for those with military or police, that class is exempt. So now it's even faster for you if you don't have to worry about a class.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, in Pennsylvania, we just have like you go out, you do like basically like getting a gun, like a firearm. You just do a background check.
Yep.
Take about 3 weeks, maximum. Really, they send you your little yellow card, tell you come get your license, and then you get to go after that. So
yeah, because I have a Pennsylvania one as well.
Okay.
And I was able to get that after I got I had my Maryland permit for a while before they changed that ruling, so I had to go through the good and substantial reason to have it. Once I did that, I actually applied to Pennsylvania, and the next day I was approved.
Yeah.
So it was like a 24-hour turnaround. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, you breathe there. Congratulations. You are now a Pennsylvania carrier. Yeah. So, shout out to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's in accordance with, for out-of-state people, for non-resident out there who are listening, if you apply for Pennsylvania, be sure to keep up with your residence. You have to have a resident a permit from your residential state before you can even qualify for a Pennsylvania one. And you have to keep up with it. So when your carry permit expires or is about to expire, you have to let Pennsylvania know, because you can be in violation of their laws as well if you carry and you don't have your permit, and your permit at your resident state is invalid. So, and you just have to stay on top of that and then let them know when you do the process as well.
Okay. Great info right there. Y'all better be listening. Great info. What made you want to be a content creator?
As far as like when I started this gun stuff, right? I was doing my first very YouTube content, because I didn't do a lot of YouTube. I did YouTube years later and under Gun and Hookah, but I just did like a regular YouTube video just to load onto YouTube. My first video was done in 2012 or 2011. I think I did a video of me shooting one of my shotguns, and I really didn't get into YouTube like that hard.
Yeah,
because at that time it was wide open for anybody who was a gun tuber, what they call them now.
Yeah,
you could have really let loose. That was back when the Demolition Ranch hadn't even started yet. It was like maybe like Hank Strange, Coleon Dior, and FPS Russia was like the guy at that time, right? And you had like Hickok 45 and a few other old timers in the game that actually were in either the politics side of it or the firearm side of it. Firearms. So when I really started was on other platforms doing lives, and I started with, I would start off with the gun and the hookah. Like I'm here, I have the gun, I show the gun, and I'd have the hookah, right? And then I would go into my spiel or whatever I was talking about, whatever topic of discussion that came to mind, whether it was something that was in the news or just basic conversation.
Yeah.
And then I got more and more into doing lives and doing soundtracking type of videos I was with a gun group. So I was doing soundtracking videos, some of the early stuff. So a lot of stuff you see today, I kind of pat myself on the back for that, because I was one of the originators, if not the originator of a lot of that stuff that you see now. But I just didn't put it on YouTube. I started on other platforms. And then shout out to JD Shooter, who convinced me after seeing a lot of my lives that he watched my lives, because we've been friends for a very long time. He convinced me to go ahead and hop on YouTube, and like I said, the rest is history.
Okay. Shout out JD Shooter.
Yep.
All right. What motivates you to be a gun tuber and to create the content that you create?
For me, it's therapy. It's just a therapy. If I could reach one person, that's fine. If I don't, no biggie. I never really was a numbers person, because it seems like work.
Yeah.
When you become a numbers person, you just got to let it flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was more therapy for myself to kind of just engage, and then, for the people, specifically melanated people.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody else want to come on, no problem. But primarily, I'm trying to reach my people, because we didn't have as many of us out there representing and letting people know how to get down.
Right. Right.
From at least from an educational standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what got me into doing more content.
Okay.
Right. And then, like I said, it's just therapy. So, and when I really got into YouTube, I would do a lot of lives, right? I'd be on people's lives, and it started to consume me. So I took a break from that. Just now I'm on my own channel, which I already had before then, but I didn't really put a lot of focus into that.
Yeah.
Now I put more focus to it, and I do it when I want to.
Okay.
So it's less stress for me, less like work, and more. It's like the therapy as I originated it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Long answer, but
No, that's good. That's good. What'd you carry as EDC?
I have a few. Depending on how I feel, most of the time I'll carry my Jonic TP9SF. Oftentimes I'll carry my Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan 454 Casull because I feel like, and with 2 speed loaders, I feel like if I have a large enough firearm, large enough caliber, I should say, and I'm proficient with it, because I'm just as proficient with that, if not more, than my Jonics or any of my 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
I figure if I hit you one good time with that 454 Casull, if needed, the fight's over. Fight's over. Now I just got to justify why I had to use such a large caliber, but that'd be my justification. I don't want to have to account for 9, 10, 11 rounds.
Yeah.
I only account for one.
Yeah, that one hitter quitter. Put them down.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any? Well, before I get into that question, what makes you switch your EDC around? Like go from the Janic to the what'd you say, Red Hawk?
The Red Hawk Alaskan?
Yeah. What makes you go back and forth?
Depends how I feel. It's just based on how I feel, what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Usually, most of the time, I'll carry my 454 Casull if I feel like open carrying, because it's a pretty difficult gun to conceal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my Jonic is not that easy it'll still print, because I don't do appendix carry at all.
Okay.
I value my nuts too much, and even though I may have confidence in the skill set, I don't have confidence in the machine. It's still a man-made machine.
Okay.
Right. And at any given time, oops, nah. So I'd rather risk hitting my leg, even though that could be bad, than shooting my balls off.
Definitely.
I think appendix carry, in my opinion, is more easier for females because they don't have that extra package sticking out, protruding. You know what I mean? So they kind of get away with it a little more than we can. And then plus I got that beer belly, so that makes it a little more difficult for me. Mm-hmm. So I do out of waistband most of the time, hip carry.
Okay.
Yeah. So it all depends on what I wear. And so it comes out to it in the weather. So if I'm wearing like in the wintertime, if I'm wearing one of my jackets, and I'll carry my 454, on their waistband.
Yeah.
I've done the 500 Smith as well. I have a 3.5-inch high vis, and I've carried that a couple of times, which there's no way in hell there's no concealing that at all. That's just straight carry. So, but yeah, it's all like come down to what I'm comfortable with and how I feel that day.
Okay.
If I feel like being a complete dickhead, I'll carry my 454 Casull.
All right. So when you go to purchase a gun, do you have anything that you like base it off of? Is like based off practicality? Is it based off just wants? Or is there like, how do you really go about making a purchase when you go get a firearm?
I do homework on firearms. Like I said, I'm a student of the game as well as an educator. So, and I get with people who are students of the game and educators as well. So we get together and we check out the guns. I shoot some guns and I kind of get a feel of it. And some guns I just want, right? Now, as far as practicality, I have, out of the guns I do have, I would say I have quite a few that are practical, but the rest of them are not. Yeah. Not even close to practicality. I'm a collector. Okay. So it's based off of what I enjoy. most of the time is what I will buy. Practicality goes out the window after about your fifth. Like I give it to shout out to Life with OB. He said after 5, you kind of practicality kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you've already the first few you get should be based on protecting yourself. After that, it's just toys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it. It's just kind of do my homework on it. Get a chance to shoot, I'll shoot it. But simply, if I like the gun or know about the gun, I'll get it.
Okay. Do you have any if shit hits the fan guns?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shit hits the fan, going straight to the SKSs.
Okay.
All day, every day. That is my battle rifle. That is the one that has seen combat and seen firefights. Sorry, let me turn this down. This thing's making noise. Seen firefights from World War II to now. Still being used in conflicts today. And it's a robust firearm. Triggers not that great, but you can expect that from a gun that's been around for, almost 80 years. Yeah. So it's a great gas system. Yeah, it's the best of the best to me as far as battle rifles. Durable, 7.62 by 3.9. You can't beat an SKS at all.
Okay.
That's one of mine. My go. That's the one right there. Is steel and wood. Can't beat it.
Okay. What's your thoughts on carry guns with manual safeties?
Whatever's comfortable. Whatever's comfortable. If you know how to use it, why not? It's just an extra level of comfort for you, peace of mind. Reduces negligent discharges. And you got to practice,
Absolutely.
even though it may not be you might have the grip safety or you may have the trigger safety. You have a manual safety. A lot of times people who carry don't have it on. They have the safety off and obviously condition 1 carry or condition 0 carry, which is the one in the chamber. But for those who want a peace of mind, especially with certain firearms with very, very sensitive triggers, it's not a bad idea. Yeah. Just practice with it. Just know that, when it gets hot, people, then you're ready to go, right? And people think, in my opinion, that it's going to be for those who have been in a firefight, could tell us a different story, but this is just my speculation. It's not going to be a 12 o'clock showdown, you draw, I draw. It's not going to happen that way. Right. The first thing your reaction is going to do is you're going to flight. You're going to try to find cover and concealment. The first thing you're going to do. So while you're doing that, right, that gives you just that split second of time to get that safety. And by that time, while you're running, you actually can do it, right? If you already have but it comes down to practice. Yep. Right. Yep. Then you got the time to get ready to go, get your gun in the battery, get it all safe, and be ready to rock and roll. It's not going to be like everybody's. Yeah. It's not no movie stuff.
Take 10 paces and turn around and
exactly. It's not going to be any of that, and it's not going to be any like action flick type shooting. Right. And the person that's probably going to be shooting at you is probably going to be just as frantic as you are. Yeah. So it comes down to who gets them all first, but the first thing people are going to do, or at least should do them up, is try to find cover. If you can't find cover, then rely on your training.
Right? Do you keep a round in the chamber at all times, and why, if so, or if not?
Some guns I do, some guns I don't. Based on, my Jonic I do, and obviously my Ruger Red Hawk, it's always in battery. So, but it's all coming to comfort. Those two I do. At home, I got some that are, one in the pipe. Some I don't, because it comes depending on where the gun is. If the gun is not near me, if it's in one of my other rooms, it's probably not. But if it's near me, then yeah, it's got one ready to go.
Okay. What made you go with the first firearm that you ever bought? What made you buy that specific gun?
The caliber and the type of guns. Revolver. I love revolvers. Love spinners. I don't have enough of them. And 357.
Okay.
Never go wrong with 357 Magnum, right? So that was and the price was good,
Hmm.
right? Considering, but those are three things that drew me to that gun.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a movie guy? And if so, in your opinion, what's the best gun movie that you ever seen?
Whew, the best gun movie. Now, I won't say they were the greatest shooters, but it's an awesome gun movie. Awesome gun movie. I would say Predator was one.
Okay.
Rambo was another. Commando was another. Dirty Harry.
Love Dirty Harry.
Some of the best gun movies you could think of. I even like the movie called Armed and Dangerous with John Candy. He had a beautiful revolver chambered in 50 Alaskan.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I might have to check that out.
It almost looks like a 500 Smith,
Hmm.
the revolver, and I don't know if it was 50 Alaskan. It might have been a different round, but it was 50 caliber. I think it was
Okay.
Alaskan, but I have to go back and do some more research on that one. And I just like those type of movies. Now, yeah, some of those guns kind of were for movie effects, kind of they used them in certain ways to kind of sensationalize it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these type of guns kind of do exist, and you could have them made to exist. Um, those are my ones right there. But a movie that another one's Demolition Man. Demolition Man had a lot of pretty cool, neat little pieces in there. The one gun that's funny is that one. I don't know if you remember that one. Wesley Snipes. They call it the phaser gun.
Hmm.
That big black rifle had. That's actually a G11, G11 HK-G11.
Okay.
It was supposed to be one of the first firearms that didn't use cartridges. They
Hmm.
had just the projectile, but no bad reviews. Piece of shit. I never shot it, but just looking at reviews and just the way the setup is, it looks cool.
Hmm.
Not a good gun, right? So, not practical. The military didn't think it was practical, so it sits in a museum somewhere talking about. That's about it. But yeah, that's pretty much long story short. Those first few movies I told you what my coolest gun movies ever.
Okay. Nice. 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 If you stop YouTube today, what would you want to be remembered for?
If I stop you to impact, I like to say I influenced a few people
Hmm.
about firearms. I told people about knowing the laws of their state and just talking, about the process if you want to do form, NFA items. Just kind of the impact. Just reached out to a few people and like that I knew somewhat of what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you definitely influenced me. Like, and that's another reason why I wanted to sit down with you because, like, just watching your videos, you definitely like one of the most knowledgeable people that I've seen on here, especially one that looked like us. And
Right,
I was
right.
like, man, this dude know what he talking about. So I was like, I got to sit down and rap with you and
I appreciate it,
get
man.
it. Yeah,
It's pretty
definitely.
cool. It's pretty cool. You are actually the second person to actually want to sit down with me one on one. I
Uh,
should say want to, but actually has that.
mhm.
So this is cool. Every time I get a chance like this, it's pretty cool. I sit back and chop it, especially when we talk about guns and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Any gun that you would like to buy, but you think the price is too high at the moment?
Whew. There's quite a few guns I'd like to buy with the prices. And the prices, definitely out of my range. A lot of them are actually full auto, right? Machine
Mhm.
gun. But I have a few others. Let's see. Let me think. Yeah, it's quite a few. It's quite a few I'd love. Do you want me to name specifics or?
You can, yeah.
All right. Well, some of them I keep to myself because I might be in a position not too far in a distant future to actually acquire these firearms.
Okay, okay.
But I will put one out there that I know that it's going to be way out of my reach. And that would be the Lewis machine gun. 303 British, has magazine on top, looks like a giant bowl, like a giant dish. Not the There are a couple of firearms like that, but this particular one, the Lewis, shoots 303 British. It was used by obviously the British, and then the U.S. Navy had them in 30-06, but the particular one is 303 British. That would be, if I had the money right now, I would get that gun. And a second one would be the Lotte L39 20 millimeter anti-tank gun. Those are the two guns that I would love to get my hands on. And and the funny thing is, had I not bought some other firearms that I did buy, I might have had a Lotte.
Okay. Okay. I ain't never heard either one of them. I ain't even going front, but I'm gonna have to look them up.
Beautiful guns. Beautiful pieces to have.
Okay. How often would you say that you clean your carry gun?
Not often enough. I oil it. Like some other people oil it. Every now and again, I run a rod through the barrel. But I don't really super clean them, because if you can't run your gun dirty, you need a new gun.
Exactly. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. I like a gun to get dirtied up. I might not clean it after every range trip. I like it to accumulate some of that dust and that ammo shit and all of that, because I want to know how it's going to perform. So
because you're not going to be in a perfect scenario if you got to perform.
Yep.
You're probably going to be in an absolute worst scenario should that day go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be nasty. It's going to be disgusting, especially if it's like a shit hits the fan type of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to be able to clean indoors. It's going to be nasty. It's probably going to be rainy. It's probably going to be hot, muggy. It's going to be dirty and dusty. So.
Yep. So if you know how it performs at its worst, when it's the dirtiest,
you know what's going to do when it's at its best.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. What's your thoughts on the the SIG Prodigy? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have any thoughts. I don't know what that one is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the new one that they tried to compete with the staccato P.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about SIG Prodigy. I know about the staccatos. I don't have any staccatos. I'm not really. I can't say it's a nice gun, but I'm not a huge fan of staccatos.
Okay.
I'm just not. If I had the money, no, I'd think of probably about 10 other guns I'd get before I got a staccato.
You ever shot one?
No.
Okay.
But they are sexy as far as they're shooting them. From what everybody says, they're clean as hell. Just not a fan. Maybe it's the price.
Definitely the price. The price will turn you off. Like,
definitely. And then I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people got them. And I've never been the type of person that wants a gun that everybody has.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably another thing that turns me off from the staccato, because everybody talks about it. A lot of people that have them. So, I mean, it's the 1911 or 2011.
Yeah.
Well, you can never go wrong with that. But that particular one, I'd probably get if I had to spend that kind of bread, I'd probably get a Cabot.
Okay. Okay. In your opinion, what's the best gun you felt like you ever shot?
Whew, shit. The best gun I ever shot. Good God, I shot a lot of guns. The best gun I ever shot, as far as that, maybe like, whoa, this is the greatest shit ever. Damn, that's a good question. The greatest shot gun I got to shoot that made me really excited was my Gatling gun.
Okay.
Honestly, that gun right there, it had to be, that's the greatest. The second greatest was the Desert Eagle full auto that Jay the shooter at Mr. Wilcat. Those two guns right there, the genuine excitement I had on those guns. Out of every gun I've shot, well, because I mean, it's I guess because the history behind it. That's what really got me with the Gatling, and then the first ever is the history of the firearm, and then the making history of the firearm.
Yeah,
that's the excitement. That's the factor.
Yeah. What was it like shooting that full auto Desert Eagle?
Oof. Bro, man, I tell you what, that was a treat. Because I was there at its inception, the idea of it. and to see it come to fruition by these gentlemen, and then having the access
Mm-hmm.
to shoot it. That thing's badass, man. I mean, they definitely made it a lot better when they put that stock on there. Made it kind of like a broomstick. They put that broomstick on there.
Yeah,
Broomstick.
yeah.
That really made it definitely stable. And they put the 10-inch barrel on there.
Mm-hmm.
But to shoot the OG original just with the the vertical grip and nothing, yeah, that was a treat. I mean, you feel all of it. You know, Desert Eagle doesn't have a lot of recoil when you're shooting it semi-automatic, even though it does have some, but it's front heavy. But when you're talking about a firearm that's ranging around 500, 600 round rate of fire per minute, that is, that's 500 round a minute with that type of caliber and that short of, that size of a gun, no barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's definitely excitement because you have that danger as well as that full auto. You never shooting full auto.
Yeah. Shout out Jay the Shooter again and Mr. Wilt. You know, they doing big things in the 2A community. They changing the game real rap. Like they
absolutely
just doing phenomenal things out there.
Absolutely. They're definitely making an impact as far as creativity,
mm-hmm.
making an impact as far as innovation. And for those out there who, bite, because there's some biters out there.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Always.
They don't want to give these gentlemen their credit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it for them. They're making a statement. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Would you consider yourself a fanboy to any gun manufacturer?
Not really. I mean, I like Jonix, love Jonix. But as far as big bore, I'm a fanboy of calibers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big bore junkie. I love big bore, and I love Curio relics. So I'll say that. But as far as a particular manufacturer, no.
Okay. What's your favorite caliber?
454 Casull.
Okay. Would you prefer inside or outdoor ranges?
Outside all day. Outside all day. You're not as restricted.
Mm-hmm.
You get that open air. You get to test you and your gun.
Yeah. Best handgun caliber in your opinion and why?
Best handgun caliber in my opinion and why? Be biased again, 454 Casull. I'm sorry to say. I mean, practical, yeah, it all depends on who's shooting it. 9mm, I mean, I go 454 Casull because it's a one-hitter quitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's big bore. And if it's good for a 1,500-pound bear, it's good for a 200-pound man.
Yeah, shit.
So that's my favorite as far as handgun calibers. Yeah.
Okay. Best rifle caliber in your opinion and why?
Best 54R.
I ain't never.
54R. The best, a power puncher, 1,000-yarder, rip you apart. Absolutely. I think that everybody should have a 54R, whether it be a Mosin Nagant, whether it be a Vepr 54, whether it be an SVD, whether it be any of those right there that shoot 54R. Get one. Sure. And after that would be at 8mm would be another one.
Okay. I never heard of a 54R. I can't even lie. I ain't never heard of it, but gotta look them up.
Yep.
AK-47 or the AR-15 platform? Which one you prefer?
AK platform all day, every day, twice on Sundays, and 4 times on any holiday that you choose. Right.
Right.
Because it's as far as ARs are overrated, and you're talking to a person who's been shooting that platform for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is. The reason that the AR is as popular as it is, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings saying it.
Tell them how you feel.
It's because it's the one gun you couldn't have.
Okay.
it was the gun that was affected most in the first assault weapons, man. And it's, I guess, the symbolism behind it, right? Other than that, and you can ask any Vietnam veteran, you can ask most folks in the military today, well, not most, but you guys a few. That gun is trash because it's versatile. I'll give you the pluses. It's user friendly. It's versatile. It's light recoil. Bad things, maintenance, high maintenance. Definitely. You've got to keep that clean,
pristine.
That has to be clean,
pristine,
right? Because if you get anything on it, it's going to malfunction. I don't care if you spent $500 on it or you spent $3,500 on it. And I got a few. I got quite a few ARs, but it's overrated.
Yeah,
as hell. That platform is overrated. If it comes down to none of my ARs, I would ever use in a real shit-to-head fence situation. Okay. None.
Yeah, that's why I think about, like, I love the AK platform, love it. Absolutely. And the AR platform, I like it, but I'm not in love with it. And a big reason is because I can't shoot whatever I want to shoot through it. So as far as like steel case ammo, like you can shoot it, but you're gonna be cleaning the shit out of it after you shoot it. So
you're sure gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that for sure.
Yeah,
you got to maintain it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so definitely. It's not to me. Those are range toys.
Yeah.
Even though the military uses it, and people don't realize the Army been trying to get rid of that platform for decades.
Oh yeah.
They just said the military, they try to find other platforms that'll be more sufficient. They're going to different calibers now, but they trying to look for a different platform altogether.
Okay.
But that's probably not going to change because it's the gun with it's like the iPhone of rifles right now. I mean, after that ban, when that ban lifted in 2004, ARs soared.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. That's my opinion. I stick to it. For those of y'all who have ARs, don't throw them away. Keep your ARs. Yeah. I have a few. You know, and if that's your tool of choice, that's your tool of choice. But as far as gun and hookah is concerned, AK platform specifically, if you want to go and more specifically the SKS, even though that's an AK platform, it's still 7.62x39, still gas pistol. That's the one.
Okay. In your opinion, dry firing, good thing or bad thing?
Good thing. Definitely a good thing. Well, dry firing for both pistol and rifles, really good thing. Number one, you get repetition. Number two, you maintain your breathing down, and and that's one of the first thing we did in the military with a rifle. We would dry fire all the time. Boring as shit, but it helps with your breathing and trigger squeeze. Because what we would do is and I tell people who haven't done it and those who in the military who have. I'm sorry, I made a mistake with the SKS. It's gas. I think it's gas piston. I think it's just gas. So I just want to make sure that. It might be gas piston. I got to take mine apart again. I can't remember. I'm lost. I think it's gas operated, but whatever. All right. Yeah, do your homework, y'all. Right. Correct me. I love that gun. It's robust as shit. But yeah, it's very important. And what we do, you could do this. We did in the military. Put a washer or a coin or like a quarter or a washer on the barrel of your gun, not on a break, but on the barrel, close you can to the break. And when you're in a prone position, unsupported, shoot that firearm, dry fire it. If that coin falls off or that washer falls off, you got to work on your breathing and trigger squeeze. The key is not to let that thing fall every time, even when you go to charge it to do another dry fire. You want to make sure you maintain that consistency. And then when you get fancy, you can put like multiple coins stacked up and rows of them back all the way to your tire and then squeeze that trigger.
Yeah.
Now, as far as with pistols, obviously you want to do dry fire a lot of times. But you could also try that exercise with using a round on the end of your firearm as you're holding it out and squeeze the trigger and see if it stays on.
Okay.
Right.
What's your thoughts on having? Well, matter of fact, you already answered that one. But I was going to ask you about carry rotation, but you already told me. The two guns that you have in your rotation. You already told me about your thoughts on open carry. What made you wanna open carry?
Sometimes my guns are too big. So it came down to not having a choice at sometimes. And I get people's skepticism on it because it makes you a target. But that's the whole point of you having the gun, because you could be a target anyway.
True.
So if you got a gun, regardless, I mean, I get that. You don't want to be less of a target. You want the element of surprise. They can see your hand. They still got to play it. Yeah. It comes down to it. They can see your hand. They still got to play it. So if they know what you got, okay. Situational awareness will keep them away from you, number one. So if you're worried about your gun getting taken off you, you're just not being situationally aware.
Yeah.
No one's going to get that close to me to where they're going to take my gun. Now, if I get shot because I have it, I'm going to be a target anyway. I probably would have got shot if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So you're a target regardless. Is the whole point of carrying. Because you're going to be a target. You could be a victim of any circumstance. So whether you have the gun or not. So if you're worried about being a target because you got the gun, then don't carry the gun.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So.
Yeah. Myself, I'm not a big fan of open carry. I've done it maybe like once or twice, but not really a big fan. I like the concealed carry aspect, the element of surprise, but to each his own. So. And do whatever you're comfortable with, whatever
that's what
suits you best. That's what it's about.
Because gun and hookah isn't be all end all. Hell no. If you listen to me, there's gonna be some things that you're gonna like, damn, gun and hookah, that's me up. So I know some stuff, but I'm a student just as well as a teacher, and I will never shit on anybody who does what they do. I'll never be that guy. I'll express my opinion and I'll give you why.
Yeah.
But if you do what you do, okay. Yeah. What you don't make me shit. I mean, that's what it boils
down to. Any firearm that you would 100% recommend?
SKS. As far as rifle, you got to have at least one, and they're going up in price. But if you can get you an SKS, get you an SKS. Oh, you will not be dissatisfied. Anybody who says they're not happy with an SKS, either A, doesn't have one, B, never shot one, or C, don't know shit about guns. That's just my opinion. Once again, it's just my opinion. Now, as far as pistols, I like Jonix. I do like the new SIGs that came out because I just bought them. I like the Grand Power Excalibur. That's a pistol that should be and unfortunately, I have yet to get. I've been talking about that gun for years, and I have yet to buy one. Right? Okay. That's one of the sweetest shooting guns. It's made by it used to be Eagle Imports that imported them, but now it's Global Ordnance, I think. Grand Power Excalibur, same company that makes dry bog. Right? Okay. If you know what a dry bog is, you know that company. Excalibur, that's one of the best pistols. Rotating barrel, fluted barrel. It's got deported slide. The best handgun I've ever shot, hands down.
Okay.
I recommend it, and a few people already bought it based off of my recommendation.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up one too. I got a whole list of shit I gotta look up now. So yeah.
That Grand Power Excalibur is the truth. I'm gonna get when I've been buying a lot of stuff lately. I'm probably gonna sell off a few of them, but I'm definitely gonna have that in my collection for sure. Yeah.
You got to shoot the M17 and M18 yet?
I have them.
So I watched your video.
Yeah, I haven't got a shot of it yet. I got to get to the range. I just had surgery, so I didn't do it this weekend. I'm looking at doing it. I mean, last weekend, I'm looking at possibly going out on Sunday to shoot those guns.
Okay.
Yep. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I know we're doing that. Hold on 1 second. I gotta take a break.
Yep, you good.
And I'm back. Okay.
All right, cool, cool,
Old people problems.
cool. No problem, no problem. Where was we at? You was telling me about the firearms
Yes.
that you like. All right. Um, any YouTube channels that you watch frequently, and they don't have to be gun channels. They can be, anything on YouTube that you like watching.
Um, I watch some GUNTUBER channels. I watch. I used to watch Survival Saturdays, Ben Shooting when he used to do a lot of it.
Shout out Ben Shooting.
Yeah, I watch In Class with Dr. Carr with Karen Hunter. Um, I watch. I've gotten into watching Bo the Fifth Column. Somebody put me on to him.
Mm-hmm.
And those are pretty much it. And I'll catch like a lot of GUNTUBER channels. Like I'll catch yours from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I barely even watch mine. Funny enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put out the context like you were there. I mean, you watch it like the first time. If it's like a premiere, I'll watch it. But for a lot of times, I don't watch my own stuff. I keep an eye on like comments and stuff and respond back when I can. But yeah, mostly the most ones I watch and anime. I watch anything anime.
Okay.
Any Dragon Ball Z or any anime.
Okay.
I kind of. Most of the stuff, like I said, most of the stuff I watch frequently are non-gun related.
Okay. Any advice that you would give someone buying or looking to buy their first firearm?
Don't buy a gun to say you got a gun. Do your homework on it. Shoot if you can. Ask people about it. Go with your gut. I see a lot of, because there are a lot of guns out there that are budget friendly. There are a lot of guns out there not so budget friendly. I would definitely go with your gut, do your homework. Don't just go off of everybody else as far as what's popular, right? Because you probably see one popular and
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your connection, it got kind of choppy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Froze up.
Yeah, I saw that. I made sure that my Ethernet, the light was still on. I'm good. I paid my bill, Verizon. Don't mess with me. The sky, don't get caught up in the colors. That's another thing. Because I see a lot of people, they'll sell these cheap guns that are not really good quality guns because of the color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it because it's cute.
Yeah.
Or I bought it because it was cheap. Don't do that. Get a gun that's budget friendly, of course. You don't want to, because it's a very expensive hobby.
Right? Definitely.
But get a gun that's practical. Get a gun that doesn't kill your pockets, but at the same time is a functioning firearm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of Glock at all. But the one thing about a Glock is that it's the iPhone of pistols. So there are many parts for it. The triggers aren't that great out the box. I would say definitely look at the trigger, what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get a 500 Smith & Wesson as your first gun, by all means. If you're comfortable with that gun, just learn your tool.
Mm-hmm.
Learn your tool. Don't let nobody convince you of what to get. They could advise it,
mm-hmm.
but don't tell them, don't let someone tell you what you can't have.
Yeah.
Like, don't be like, you shouldn't, like for ladies when they're going to get shotguns. Ladies, you should get a 20 gauge because it doesn't have as much the recoil of the 12 gauge. Hell no. Get you a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Learn it. Learn that tool. Learn
mm-hmm.
it. Learn that tool. Learn it with everything you got. And I just recommend Don't be the Shockwave be your first 12 gauge, but get you a 12 gauge. Right? And that's anybody. That's not just women, but that's anybody.
Yeah,
Don't let Shockwave
absolutely.
be your first one because you want to learn about that support in your shoulder first before you start getting cute with that
Trying to
jump in.
one arm it and all
Right.
that.
That bad boy does a flip out of your hands or hit you in your face.
Right, change your
Depending on the
life.
loads you put in there, right? You thereby putting double out buck, and you put that in the Shockwave in a small platform, and you weren't ready for it, you're going to lose that gun.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to torpedo and either hit you or somebody else. So you want to be careful with that. So learn the tool you get, but get it whatever, and watch out for cheap guns with colors.
Yeah, that's what I tell some of my coworkers. Somebody I work with, she was like, "Yeah, I went and got a gun," and she's like, "I got a Sky, and this is or SCCY, whatever they call."
Yeah, Sky.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I got a pink one and all." And I'm like, "What made you go with that gun? Like, of all guns, what made you go with that?" And it was probably price, stuff like that, and availability because they're everywhere. But I'm like, I don't like to shit on it because I never shot it, but I'm just not a fan of it myself. And I think, as far as reliability goes, it's probably not one of the most reliable things that I want to, protect my life with. So,
right. I'd have got a high point over a Sky. That's the sad part. It came down to it because high points are ugly as shit. Right?
Terrible.
That C9 is horrible, aesthetically displeasing. You got to maintain that gun.
Yeah.
If that's what you need to get, then that's what you get. People are going to shit on high point. We all talk shit about it.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, if the gun works for you, it works for you. Because there's some people that live and die by the Sky. There's a guy that shot a 100-yard target with a Sky. So, he'll tell you differently. It's like, get a Sky.
Yeah.
But, I'll be careful. Just do your homework. That's the biggest thing. Do your homework on the gun. Shoot them. If you can rent them, and then just get comfortable. And then go for what you know. Whatever your pockets tell you, go for it. Because it's not about the gun, it's about the shooter.
Yeah. Yep. Last question, then I'm going to let you get out of here.
No
do you have what I guess they consider a unicorn gun?
Oh, I would say I have a couple of unicorns. I would definitely say that. I have the Kunin 1911 357 Magnum. That's a unicorn.
Okay.
That joint has ceased production not once, but twice. So that gun went from what I paid for is worth about 3.5 times what I paid for it. And the magazine is worth about 10 times what I paid for it. So yeah, so that's one of my unicorns. Another unicorns are my Encores. My Encore barrels that I have, 500 Nitro Express, my 470 and 600 Nitros, those are all unicorns. That's the 470 and 500 Nitros specifically, because the company that made those doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So those guns, their value just went up. Those are my unicorns. And I would say that's about it as far as what I would consider a unicorn. Oh, I do have my another gun I have too. I have the Magnum Research Lone Eagle 30-06 pistol. They don't make those Lone Eagles anymore. So if you find one,
hold
cool.
on to it.
From a collector standpoint, anyway.
Is there any unicorn guns that you don't have that you looking forward to getting?
Let me think. As far as unicorn, I can't think off top. There are a few, but I can't think of them off top.
Okay.
But there are a few out there I do want my hands on. That if you find it and you can afford it, definitely. Oh, one is the HKP7. That is a gun for a collector to have. It's got the grip safety and all that stuff on there. But that P7 is, if you can find it, and there are a few out there. you're going to pay. And the 500 ES, 500 spoken weather ES. Those are ones. Now they're coming to me. Yeah, 500 ES and the P7. Those two right there. Yeah, those are bags right there, but they're unicorns because they're not that many around.
Okay. The video that you just put out when you had it was a Beretta that you had, like a little fat Beretta. What was that called?
That one was the Beretta PX4 Storm.
PX4 Storm. You ever shot that before, or?
I've shot it before. I haven't shot mine yet, but I shot that gun before.
Okay.
Rotating barrel. It's chunky as hell.
Yeah.
Rotating barrel. Pretty good shoot.
That's what I like. It looked really good. It looked like a nice gun. So I was thinking about looking into one of those.
Yeah, they're becoming a little bit more difficult to find as well.
Yeah.
So if you find one, and the price is still good, they're not expensive at all. They're really decent price firearms. And that rotating barrel makes it good. It's just chunky. Some people like the chunkiness.
Yeah.
And from a collector standpoint, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on and dropping all this knowledge on us and, giving us your time and everything. Anything that you'd like to say before we get up out of here?
I appreciate you having me, bro. This was fun, man. I enjoyed the person and having a good time with people with these guns. As far as out there, hey, just stay abreast of everything out there. Don't get caught up in the hype. I know you hear a lot of stuff about what's going on with assault weapons bans being proposed and all that stuff. As a person who has gone through not one, not two, but three different times where there was an assault weapons ban, 1994, right, where I really didn't have guns during that time. Then, of course, Maryland, we got hit with one, and then we had another one with certain other items. Don't worry too much about it. If it's just talk, just kind of know the wave, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you're worried about that, you ain't got enough guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have enough guns because the guns that they might be targeting, either A, you probably don't want, B, you probably can't afford, or C, you don't know nothing else out there.
Yeah.
So do your homework on the firearms. Get with people who've been in the game for a while that could tell you, that lived through it and been through it and made it through it. And know your laws of your state, know the laws of states around you because they change constantly. And just be safe. Do your homework, be safe. When you out to get the gun, just be safe with it. And just keep your eye on your luggage.
Yeah. Ignorance is not an excuse. So
exactly.
Don't get caught up, and say, oh, I didn't know. Because they ain't going to hear it. They don't want to hear that shit.
They ain't trying to hear that at all.
Not at all.
I don't know. That's not a good enough valid reason to keep your ass out of trouble.
Yeah.
So have a good lawyer on deck and get insurance. Get insurance, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, shout out your socials before we get up out of here.
All right. Social media, you can reach me at Hookah, GUNANDAHOOKAH on Instagram and YouTube. Instagram, definitely, you can reach me a lot. You can also hit me if you want to at gunandhookah@gmail.com. Website is on the way. So be on the lookout in early 2023. Merch probably coming around that time too. I'm finally actually going to try to make some money off of this thing. I just been having fun with the hobby. I guess I'll see if I can make $1 or $2. But 2020 right now, Instagram and email my best places, and check me out on YouTube, y'all.
Okay, make sure y'all go subscribe to Gun and the Hookah if you're not subscribed. Check out all of his videos. This man has one of the craziest arsenals and one of the most knowledgeable people out there when it comes to this gun shit and just, a whole 2A movement in general, Make sure you check him out, listen to what he got to say, because you're going to learn something guaranteed.
At least one thing, and I'm going to learn something too. So we all learn together.
Yeah. But I appreciate you coming on, bro. I'm going to make sure I holler at you again.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me. This was fun.
Anytime. Be safe, though, out there.
Hey, you do the same, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Later.
Yep.